Rockhound here. Mavericks Proving Grounds developer Automaton have published an update about the game on their website, giving us some insight into where the game is at in development and what new features to expect during June for the testing phase of the game known as the Forge. The June update, which is likely to coincide with Automaton's presentation of Mavericks at the E3 Expo, will be called New Horizons and marks the transition for the game from a closed pre-alpha build to a closed alpha. New Horizons will see an update to the natural world with new features that will include rocks protruding from the ground, new tree variants in the forests, and refinements to streams and other waterways. New images provided by Automaton in the update article give us a glimpse of what the game world might currently look like, and I think it would be fair to say that these images look like the environmental design is about halfway done to the environment that we saw in the very first teaser trailer for Mavericks, which was one of the things that drew me into the game. Founders will also see improvements to the train yard area, which will move from being largely a white box design to being much closer to a finished level. You can get a glimpse of what they mean by white box buildings with these large warehouses shown here in this image, which are actually a solid lavender colour. The economy of Mavericks will also get underway in June, with 2 stores being added to the capital, which will include 4 stalls for weapons, including guns, attachments, consumables and throwables, and a separate stall for clothing items. At these stalls, players will be able to use their in-game currency known as bits to purchase items and can even make some more bits by selling off their own already banked items that they have extracted from the Isle of Dern. Automaton will be adding a number of updates to the capital itself with aesthetic updates to the city. The capital is currently in a blockout state, and they'll be adding more polished environment items including floors and building facades. The first iteration of the Champions Podium, where the winners of the Battle Royale sessions will emerge from, will also be put into place. This image of the capital also gives us a pretty good indication of the number of buildings in the city, and I'm hoping that Automaton make it possible for most of the buildings to be accessed. I think it would be great if building ownership within the capital was something that became part of the Mavericks economy as well, but I guess the devs will need to decide if that's something that's both practical and a good fit within the game's narrative. The devs will be making a significant update to the spawning system in the game as well by removing what they call the existing clunky click-to-spawn drop-in experience, and will be replacing it with a much more seamless process. How this will work is that you'll approach the district's deployment pool. Players will then jump and launch into a full skydive through the holographic map of the Isle of Dern, and the player will then be picked up by the companion drone and will have full control over wherever they want to land within the permitted zone. This is a part of the game that I have personally been looking forward to for around a year now, ever since the drop-in experience was first loosely described by Jord Fox, Automaton's VP of Engineering, during the second developer diary way back in April last year.
So imagine you're diving in from the sky and you look around and you can see all of these players diving in with you, and you look down and you can see this giant world just slowly loading in front of you. You're getting closer and closer and you can see just about where you're about to land, and you can see there's a bunch of trees, and you end up accidentally landing inside these trees. You can see all these branches falling around you, and you look around and you can see there's some other people who have done the same thing, and you can see exactly whereabouts they've come into the world.
June will also see a new UI introduced to the game. Now, we haven't seen any public updates on the UI since February, when we saw this draft UI released from Automaton. The devs say that the new UI will offer players greater amounts of information from within a more polished interface, and that the Overhaul will offer some functional benefits but is primarily focused on making the experience delivered far more in line with other AAA shooter titles, which sounds great. Lastly, Automaton have announced that they expect to stop selling Founders Packs from the end of this month. So if you've considered supporting the game and want access to the closed testing phases of the game's development, as well as a variety of founder-only benefits, then this is pretty much your last chance. Well, that's all for this short update on Mavericks Proving Grounds. I'm hoping to provide you with further updates as we close in on the Mavericks presentation at E3, So if you'd like to catch those, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell. If you found this video helpful, also please consider leaving a like or a dislike if you didn't. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.
It's just the night and me.